90% of things Kenya Kwanza criticized Uhuru Kenyatta on, saying that Uhuru Kenyatta was wrong, are now being implemented by President William Samoei Ruto. And this is a lesson to the population that during the campaign period, you should look at the politician's eye and sieve the information. And so, you should not be an agent of, you should not accept to consume deception. I've been making political observations. Remember how Kenya Kwanza criticized Huduma number? And I remember the Kenya Kwanza team asking Chiloba kwamba hiyo Huduma number inaweza ngoja. Remember about it? It was some few months to the election. Today, the president was giving orders to the ICT CS Oduor to implement Huduma number by December. Number two, and that's what I want us to talk about. Kenya Kwanza blamed Uhuru Kenyatta, and they said that Uhuru Kenyatta was militarizing the nation when he decided to use NMS in Nairobi in achieving the bigger dream. Today, as we speak, listen to your president here.
Kwa sababu mimi ndio amiri jeshi mkuu, wale KDF ni Kenya Defence Force, kumaanisha wao ni wa Kenya pia, na wanajua umuhimu wa city ya Nairobi. Tayari nimeketi chini na wao na tumekubaliana ya kwamba tutabadilisha city ya Nairobi, ikiwemo Kamkunji, ikiwemo Eastleigh, ikiwemo hiyo Kiambu. So hiyo estate, mimi nataka nimwambie bwana Hinga na bwana Njeru ambaye ni waziri wetu, muanze kupanga sasa mambo ya Kiambu vile tutajenga, na tutahakikisha, wewe mheshimiwa ukiwa hapo, tunaelewana, tutahakikisha kwamba watu wa kwanza watakaopata nyumba mzuri yenye imejengwa vizuri, iko na maji na choo na taa na kila kitu na barabara na shule, ni watu wa Kiambu, watakuwa number 1. Alafu tutapanga Wakenya wengine baadaye. Tunaelewana ndugu zangu? So Kiambu will be our next phase, and I want proper planning the same way we are doing in Kibra. We want to do it in Kiambu so that we can salvage the millions of people. I'm told 30,000 people live in Kiambu where there is no proper planning, there is no road, there is no hospital, there is no school.
That is yours truly saying that they are going to return back the military. There is no problem, and I can tell you, I can tell the public. Today, we blamed Uhuru Kenyatta, and when we came into power, because we had promised people that we were going to scrap NMS, and we scrapped NMS and Badi went back to the uniform, there is a mooted plan to return them. When Uhuru Kenyatta realized that after that election, William Ruto was focusing on his 2022 and was seeing Raila as a threat, he decided to go and capture parliament. And you will be told of stories that even bills could not pass in parliament. Don't you know that after handshake there was a mooted plan to impeach Uhuru Kenyatta that was planted by the team that later came to join UDA? And so Uhuru Kenyatta had no option, and he resorted back to the military because he was going back without a project, a legacy. And in Nairobi, the military men led by Badi under NMS did a good job. Take that. Personally, I managed to cover one event that was in 2019. I think the Cabro, not the Cabro, that was, there's a place president went at night. I was working in some community radio station on the other side of Dagoretti. It was in Kangemi. So they worked until usiku na mchana. They were launching hospitals, they were building, and it went so fast. And because Uhuru realized that he needed to fix things, He even decided to plant the men in uniform in different departments, strategic positions, to ensure that he can that he can achieve his goals. I'm asking a question. Do you want to tell us Ruto is going through that? Do you want to tell us Ruto is going through the same situation where he's been captured? I will reveal more about that in this analysis. So make sure you watch to the end and kindly subscribe to our channel. I know sometimes I do forget, but kindly subscribe to our channel. There is a lot of poetic talk and sweet words, but we are telling the public that you need to be careful, and what you are listening, have the sixth sense, decode. Does he mean it? For example, listen to this one.
Watu wa Nairobi, na mjue ya kwamba I will make sure that every citizen of the Republic of Kenya is part and parcel of the development of Kenya, irrespective of how they voted. Hiyo mimi nitafanya, kwa sababu hakuna rais mwingine wa Kenya, ni mimi, si ndivyo? So nitahakikisha, Bwana Spika, usikuwe na wasiwasi, nitahakikisha ya kwamba kila Mkenya anashughulikiwa na serikali ya Kenya. Ile mimi siwezi kufanya.
During the same event, the speaker mentioned about equity. And I asked the president, how are you going to serve everyone? Just look at the latest parastatal appointments. Jamani, mbona tunadanganya? Why are we hoodwinking the population? Well, the truth of the matter is, we are not walking the talk. Look at the latest appointments. It's between two tribes. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. It's simple. It's two tribes. Your friends from those two places. We are changing things after the other. We are recalling everyone, and in those positions we are appointing people we want. I'm telling you, there is another one coming for the ambassadors. It's hectic. It will be chaotic. It's another one in the offing. So, I once interviewed a young man in this channel, and he told me something that I wanted to hear. He said that, Kevin, the youth want to see a hope for a better tomorrow. Even if things are not good now, the youth want to see the hope for a better tomorrow. Now, that is the reason why quite a number of young people stick to on Raila's side. The idea around Raila is that there is a hope for a better tomorrow. And that better tomorrow, sadly, was never to be actualized through Raila Odinga. I wanted to listen to a snippet of this young man. He said something that is very interesting in relation to the clip I've just played to you.
They all have a vision for a better Kenya, but the government has to give them reason to hope that there will actually be a better Kenya, because as things stand, we have not seen any reason to be optimistic that tomorrow will be better.
As if even if things are not good, we should see reasons that things are going to be good tomorrow.
Yes, we need to see that they have a concrete plan and they are working towards making things better than they are today. That concrete plan is what we are not seeing at the moment, and what we need to see.
And me, I hope that you should get an internship soon so that you start seeing it.
Thank you very much.
Let me say it. Tomorrow the newspaper headlines are going to splash serious headlines. And I can tell you, the timing of William Ruto's order of bringing the military in Nairobi was strategic, because it serves the purpose of telling the population of what is happening. Remember, it's coming at a time when Raila is building what will be seen as a revolution against the government, and there is the Kampunja and the Jacaranda rallies that have been on the offing. So, why do you think this information is being brought up now? Strategically, I want to tell you, there is a very good ground, and the Dennis Itumbis of the world and the Kenya Kwanza bloggers are already running with a story in Twitter to threaten the population that, look here, army is coming. That's what's going on. And that is the information I think we need to debunk so that the public understands. the men in uniform are coming for the civil work. There is a clear line that is drawn. I remember during Moi days, my good elder was telling me that was I think that was who yes, the guy our elder spoke with in Nakuru. I've forgotten the name. He told me that during Moi days he would go to the military and anawapatia uniform, then anawaleta into the population. Now that's not what is it. I know those who are back then in the days. Nowadays there is a very clear line. So this information, the propaganda team for Kenya Kwanza are already peddling the narrative that look here, usiende kwa street, usifikirie kwenda kwa street kwa sababu military inakuja. It's already a threatening message. And now that brings me to my crystallized 4 points that I believe is behind theories behind Ruto's move to return the military. I can first tell you, forget about the political shenanigans you are seeing. The men in uniform are the ones that can deliver. I can tell you, wow, the disciplined forces are going to deliver. They're not going to do it for politics. You know, Badi was not eyeing for any office. He did not vie for governor. Alipomaliza alirudi back. So wao hawatafanya kufurahisha watu. You know, and I'm wondering kama ni kutoa watu CBD, kama toa watu CBD if military is doing it, if they are behind it. I don't know whether, you know. So it's a very critical point. I want us to look at it this way. Propaganda team of around the president are going to tweak that message to scare Raila supporters. And that's one of the intentions. It's supposed to scare them that look here, usifikirie, don't they? And that's why it has been context. The context is Nairobi. If you bring them for civil work, it's not about Nairobi issue. It's about working in the whole country. I see the other thing is that this move also have to do with the crisis that was created in Nairobi. There was a crisis that I believe it was created from the State House. When Ruto realized that the Gudhoni Omshomba team had tried to meet Sakaja, and he might have met Sakaja and Rikiji and realized that here there is something I can create, he engineered the public outburst. Behind the scene, he was telling Sakaja, wewe bwana, wewe angalia vitu za Nairobi, achana na huyo. On the other hand, I know he was also supporting Rigiji. So when that crisis came up, there's some observation that Ruto might have realized. They might have realized that Rigathi wants to overtake Nairobi. That it's about Nairobi capture. Might have realized number one. Number two, he also realized that Rigathi and Sakaja wars could actually slow down the Nairobi chapter. And because of that, the Nairobi chapter is the measure, will be launch pad of the evaluation of what Ruto reign has done. So he decided to create that to create the military premise. And what is the idea? The idea here is very easy. He will automatically lock out Rigathi Gachagua out of the mix. And that would also scare, because the military do not work under the deputy president. It works under the president. And that's only said, as the CDF, as the Chief of Defense Forces, I have decided. And he was simply delivering that message to Rigathi Gachagua, that I have decided myself. It's about making sure that the other interests are locked out. Number two is those wars could actually slow down Nairobi, and the Ruto will get worried, because a place that will be used to build, or rather to criticize his government, is actually the CBD of Nairobi. Now, this could also have to do with the transition in the military that is coming. You know, the big boys are going to resign or are going to retire. And there is that military transition that is coming up. We understand, according to Daudi Tonje, it should go to, I think Air Force. So that's where Lieutenant Ogola, that man comes from my place. Yeah, comes from my village. And we are not bragging about it. And the other, apart from Ogola, there is the other guy Badi, who could also be there. So there is maybe a possibility of just to tweak around it, to take one person to lead that in the civil work, the population. It also has, it could also have to do with that, so that they can manage expectations. Lastly, I see Ruto trying to reach out to create a very good rapport with the military. And the demand to create that rapport, number one, is because of the slander. There was a lot of slander in the last general election, and even though he was on the opposition side, he was campaigning on our opposition front, he really said some very unkind words and believed that it's the military that was against him. And I know people still laugh off saying that if we didn't want you to be the president, aungekuwa, as you say. So because we did, there was non-interference, we should just appreciate the fact that there was less, we did not interfere. So he might be trying to do that because after that slander. Number two, the reason why he's also trying to reach out here is the talk of revolution by Raila Odinga team, you will not trust. You know, there is the transition, and Uhuru Kenyatta, since when Raila says, I do not recognize, that statement with the backing of Uhuru Kenyatta, it is a very big, very big statement in the table of William Ruto. So we might have realized that because Uhuru was also with the military and was with them, and the people who might have benefited under him, especially the team that went to the public service, the civil service, he has decided that, look here, I need to build that rapport with them. And one of the ways to build that rapport is to do that. I wonder why he is actually removing Kenya Meat Commission from the military men while they were controlling it, and the people that refurbished it. So ikishatengenezwa, I was shocked to see that it was in the list of parastatals to be sold, to be privatized. I was like, sasa hiyo ila Uhuru alikuwa anasema ilikuwa anatengeneza profit. Mbona hata uitoe tena uitende uiuze? And I looked at that, amongst the ones that should not be sold, it's a cash cow for the big boys. That one should not be sold unless someone wants to invest in it. But our military men were doing well, and Uhuru said that they were doing well in it, and it was when they took over, it started making profit. So there could be that into it. Lastly, there is transition in the military. So you need to create good rapport with the new men that are coming. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my take. And let's see. Don't be scared. And I know that look at Twitter, look at Facebook, the propaganda is all over that the men of uniform are coming for you. No, they're good people. They're coming to construct roads, to construct hospitals, to do that, to help. And that is part of their work, by the way. People normally think it's about controlling borders. That's part of their work. And that's why they win the public trust. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet in the next.